Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Annalisa and this is Homemade Sunshine. So I've got a bonus video for you guys this week. This is what I've read for the months of March and April. My book reviews. I don't have nearly as many right now as I normally do. I think I started one book that I didn't finish, and I usually don't review those. And I've also just had less time to read recently. I usually read in the afternoons, and it's just been very busy, or I've been so tired that I've been unable to read and I just want to lay down and like truly rest. So I've read 6 books for the past 2 months, one of which I don't have to show you here, but I will go ahead and tell you about it. It's a Jennifer Shiverini book, and it is the next book I had to read in the Elm Creek Quilter series. The name is escaping me, so I'm going to insert it here. I think it's not Circle of Quilter. Actually, I have a book right here in her series, and if I see the name of the book in the little section before, I'll remember it. So let me just see. It was the Sugar Camp Quilt. That is the one. I was like, I know if I see the name of it. It was excellent. I loved it. It's about, if you remember in the book, the Runaway Quilt, the character Dorothea, who is not a main character in that series, in that part of the book, but she appears. This is more of her story, and it's just really good. You get to hear more of her backstory and how her early years set up for how we meet her later on in her life. I don't want to give too much away, but it's very good. It starts with her family lost everything and has to live with her great uncle on his farm, and he's kind of a grumpy old man and all of the things that go along with that. She's also been teaching, but now there is a new man who has come to teach and take her position, and he stirs up quite a bit of trouble. So it's an excellent book. I highly recommend it. I'll put this back up here. I had to check it out at the library. I try to collect these. I've not read this one yet, but this is just one of the examples. But sometimes I have a hard time finding certain books, so I picked that one up at the library and read it and had to return it. So next is Thomas Kinkade and David Jeremiah, The Secret of the Light. I love Thomas Kinkade books, and I love the illustrations also that go along with it. And look how beautiful that is. Basically, he takes different sections from the Bible talking about light, and will have a little message and then have verses related to that message, and it's all connected back to like walking in the light, living on the lampstand, the light of prophecy, light so we can truly see. So this I really recommend. It was a good book. It's not super long. It's about, let's see, a little less than 90 pages. 90 pages with the about the author stuff, but it's a great book and I really enjoyed that. I read 2 Mysteries of Martha's Vineyard books, and I'm just chugging through this series, y'all. We're already on book 13, so of I think 24 or 25. So which one of these is first? This is first. This is Smoke on the Water. This is about a series of suspicious fires on Martha's Vineyard, and it is up to Priscilla once again to save the day and figure out what is going on, because they're very suspicious. They don't seem random, but it is really, really good. They're also at the same time talking about rezoning a historic district and their fight to preserve the historic integrity of their town. So loved this. It was very good. It gets a little bit intense at the end, but not in a bad way. It's very good. Next is Shifting Sands, and this one is somebody shows up and tries to claim that because in the series she inherits her home in the land in the lighthouse from her great aunt, and somebody shows up and tries to say that it's not hers. So super crazy. This one was a real, like, I was really shocked by the end of it. Like, the ending really surprised me. So it's a really good mystery. Like, if you like a good shocking ending, this is a very good book. But that's the crux of what starts her journey this time, is somebody comes up and says, actually, I own the land that your house is on. So, very good. Next is The Year of Living Happy, Finding Contentment and Connection in a Crazy World by Allie Worthington. And this is just a short, well, the book itself is not short. It's quite long, actually. It's 200, how many? 225 pages, roughly. But it is a devotional. It's one of those where they tell a story, and then at the end, they have like a little action step or a journal step. I don't usually do those, like the journaling portion of it, because I don't like to write in books if I can help it. But it was good, but it's not my favorite devotional I've ever worked through, I guess is what I could say. I didn't relate to it fully, so I don't know. It was good. It wasn't my favorite though. So I would not recommend it, but I think I'm already pretty happy. So I think that it was just not something that related to me that much. So just being honest, but I don't think it's a bad book. I think it's well written, and I think her things would be good for somebody else. But you know how sometimes you read a devotional and you're like, oh, this is for me. This one was not for me. So that's it about that one. This next book I really enjoyed. This is the Beach Street Knitting Society and Yarn Club by Gil McNeil. This is a long book, so it took me longer to get through it. It's about 400 pages, which is longer than my usual book. For reference, the guidepost books are usually like 250. I loved this. This is about a woman having to start over. She is newly widowed with her 2 little boys and is going to take over her grandmother's yarn shop on somewhere on the British coast. I'm not really sure. My only complaint is which I mean, this is just like an Americanized complaint. I had to Google a lot of words because they were British words that we don't use in America, or for like phrases of things that are only in Britain that I just didn't know. So I was Googling a lot of those things. But yeah, she starts a knitting club, and there's just so many. It feels like you're really getting like a great snapshot of a year in a woman's life in a small town. And I loved that. There's only one part where it gets a little racy. Oh, here's the cat. You gonna say hi? She loves walking around here and walking on the books, honestly. Say hi. Hello. Thank you. One little kiss. So there's one part where it gets a little racy, but it is closed doors. They reference what happened, but it's not overly explicit, which was fine. So that was like something that I was like, oh, okay, it's something I can handle, but I just like to mention it in case you don't want to have any explicit things that you have to read about. But like I said, it's more like, you know, a fade to black, like in a movie, like they leave a restaurant or something and the door closes and you're like, okay, you know what's going on. So those are the books that I've read. So not as many in the past little bit, but I've just been very busy trying to get my son's room set up, trying to get ready for my baby shower, which has already happened, but all of those sorts of things have just been, you know, super duper busy. So that is it for this week's video. If you enjoy these book reviews, be sure to give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing, because I do these videos about every 2 months. I sometimes did them every month, but I think every 2 months is usually the best, especially because I'm going to be entering a season soon where I won't be reading as much. So until next time, bye.